in this very topic of class 10th. This is about the making of a scientist from supplementary reader, and it's a kind of an essay written by Robert W. Peterson, but usually it is an extract of the work of the person who is being discussed in this very um, chapter. You will see that making of a scientist, the chapter itself symbolizes that you can make out anything. You will see in the chapter, when you will go through the chapter, you will see that nothing is impossible. Or we can say those things which we believe to be impossible to achieve can be achieved. So this is a story about Richard Ebright, who is a scientist, and it will tell you about the life of that very person, and how parent has a great role in framing the future of a child and making him choose the correct thing. This story is about a curious child who is channelizing his curiosity to become a scientist. Look, whenever we are children, we have curiosity to know things. So our parent should have a kind of a view at that very time that we have to channelize that kind of curiosity. We have to channelize it in a proper way. We don't have to let it scatter. We have to channelize it in a proper way, due to which our word will get proper success in future. If we are grown up, we need to channelize our energy as well. We need to channelize energy for everything. We need to channelize our thoughts. We need to channelize our curiosity regarding every aspect. So only because of channelizing you will be able to achieve great things in life. So here it is the role of mother, because he was an orphan, he don't have a father. So the father had died earlier. So mother played an important role over here, and she played a key role in developing the interest of Richard in science. She gave a kind of an insight to the child to pursue science or go for research from very early age, which developed a kind of perfection in the child again. The child began a journey by collecting butterflies. He started his research from butterflies. He used to collect butterflies when he was a little child. And later on in his life, his mother gave him a book as a gift, which was about X monarchs. That is a kind of a butterfly, which is bigger butterfly. And this child got this very gift, and this gift was a kind of motivation. When he got this very kind of a gift, he began to study about these monarchs. So did research on purpose of gold spots on papaya of monarch butterflies. So he began his research on butterflies in his early ages. In his childhood, he had gathered 25 species of butterflies. He was researching on 25 species as a child. When he was in 8th standard, he began to take assignments of finding the cause of viral sickness that killed monarch caterpillars every year. So now it seemed that the child was having a scientific temper, but that temper was developed in him by his parent. And later on, as this child developed this temper, he began to research on it. From very low standard, that means from class 8th, he began to research about this very thing. How through viral sickness, these monarch caterpillars get destroyed every year, or they die every year. So he has other interests. It's not like that he was a bookish person. No, he was having other interests, like public speaking, like debate, like he was also a canoeist, or we can say he was an outdoor person. He used to enjoy outdoor activities. So it was not that the child was totally bookish or bookworm, but he was an outdoor person as well, which is an overall development of a child. It's not that we should always focus on the bookish knowledge of a child. We should make his personality develop in an overall manner in all fields or all matters. So he possesses all traits of becoming a good scientist now because he was researching from his early age. Now he was not having any problem and it was easy for him. He accompanied with his classmate, illustrated the working of DNA. He worked on this project, and through this proper, we can say, illustration and through proper practicality, they showed the working of DNA. He graduated from Harvard University, one of the renowned university, and got honors. That means he was highly honored in the university. At that too, he got highest points when he left from there. He got high rank. We can say he achieved high rank. So now critically appreciation, if there is critical appreciation of this very chapter, I'll appreciate it in the manner that first of all, the story teaches us about perseverance, about dedication, and about hard work any dream is, through which any dream is achievable. That means you can achieve any dream if you have three things in your life: perseverance, dedication, and achievable. You might have gone through a chapter, it's The Summit Within, in which there is a person, Mr. Ahluwalia, who has scaled Mount Everest, and he tells that it is perseverance and dedication and desire to do something which makes you going on, which keeps you motivating to climb the Mount Everest. So it's not only Mount Everest. He says that it's not Mount Everest which is very hard to climb. The summit within, that means the Everest within, the peak within your soul is very hard to climb, and these things need perseverance, dedication, and hard work through which you can achieve anything in life. Second is winning an award for the sake of winning should never be the goal. You should not always keep learn something to win. No, you should learn something to inspire others. You should learn something to motivate yourself. You should learn something to pay tribute, or we can say pay back to the society. It's not that you should always do something for your own benefit. No, it's benefit for the whole society. Winning an award for the sake of winning should never be the goal of anybody. So Richard has received the Searle Scholar Award and the Skering Plough Award for biochemistry and molecular biology. So these two fields were very interested fields, and this Richard was interested in them. And what he did, he got two of the renowned awards for his work over there. So first-rate mind, scientific curiosity, and the will to win for the right reason are the three qualities that go into helping achieve unbelievable. That means when you have first-rate mind, that means it's not that each and every person, or we can say some people are dumb, some people are they are not, their mind is not developed. No, it's not that kind of thing. Retardation is something different. But usually each and every person has first-rate mind, but you need to practice, or you need to make it more perfect. And how will that make more? You will make that perfect by reasoning about different things. You can make your mind first rate. Or scientific curiosity, that means you should have curiosity. What is really there? What is there in things? What if you see something, you should know about its working, about everything. So a child has scientific curiosity, because whenever you give a toy to a child, he opens it up. He wants to know how it works and where from it gets that push to work. So that is scientific curiosity, and you should arouse this scientific curiosity in your child. And the will to win for the right reason. Now this is the most important thing right now, and it is very important in the aspect of present society, because present society needs this very thing. It's the need of the hour that we need to have that will to win for right reason. So it's not that we'll go for any negativity, we go any pessimistic approach. No, we should work for positivity, we should work for optimism. At last, Albert realized that mere display of knowledge does not work, but he will have to show the world his worth through experimentation. It's always there that whenever you just want to try and impress others, it's not that you should impress through bookish knowledge. You will keep on telling bookish things, but real approach is that you should have something of your own. You should have something of your own identity, which will make your own, we can say, fame, or which can make your own name to be taken by the society. So you should have your own work for which you should be appreciated. So it's not that you'll always keep on telling people what is there written by this one, what is there written by this one. I'm not telling that no, you don't have to go through books, you don't have to read books, you don't have to use references. You have to use, but when you will grow up, you have to make something of your own. Whenever you are talking, you have to give your own opinion. You'll not, if somebody will tell you, please come to the stage and tell us about your opinion, you'll not say that George Bernard Shaw had told this very thing. You'll not tell them that this Nelson Mandela has told this very thing, or Washington DC has told this very thing. No, you have to give your own opinion. That means you have to be your own self at that very time, and you have to just portray that self out of you. So that was all in this very video, and I hope you liked this very video. Thank you for watching, and thank you once again.